On a cold, wind-bitten night, drivers passing the old crossroad kept slowing down, not because of the sharp turn, but because of the dog sitting beneath the flickering streetlight. He didn't bark, he didn't chase cars, he just stared down the empty road with the kind of hope that hurts to witness. And nobody knew how long he had been waiting, until one woman stopped long enough to see the truth in his eyes. His name, though he could no longer remember when he last heard it, was Shadow. Weeks earlier, he had been stuffed into the back seat of a car he trusted, the warm hand of a man he adored resting on his head. The journey had felt exciting then, a rare outing, a promise of something new. But as the car slowed near the outskirts of town, Shadow felt the shift before it happened. The man wouldn't meet his eyes. The hand didn't come again. The door opened, and Shadow was gently nudged out into the gravel. At first, he wagged his tail. He thought they were stopping for a walk. Then the door slammed. Then the engine roared. Then the car sped away, and the tail stopped mid-wag. He chased until his paws bled. He cried until his throat stung. And when he could run no more, he limped back to the only place he had last seen his person, the lonely streetlight at the bend of the road. A streetlight that buzzed and flickered like it too was struggling to hold on. Every night since, Shadow curled into a tight ball beneath it, trembling through the cold, watching every pair of lights with desperate hope. Cars passed, seasons shifted, people tossed him scraps. Some tried to coax him away. Others pitied him. But Shadow stayed rooted there, because loyalty was stronger than hunger, stronger than cold, stronger than pain. He waited exactly there, because that was where love had ended, so he believed that was the only place it could begin again. One evening, rain fell like broken glass from the sky, soaking his thin fur and chilling him to the bone. Still he did not move. Still he watched. And that night, a woman named Maya, driving home late from work, noticed him for the first time. At first glance, he looked like just another stray dog weathering the storm. But when her headlights caught his eyes, those hollow, shining, waiting eyes, she felt a tight pull inside her chest. There was a story in that stare, a heartbreak, a question. She parked. The rain hammered her umbrella as she stepped toward him. "Hey, buddy, where's your home?" she whispered. Shadow lifted his head, but he did not stand. He didn't trust easily, not anymore, but something about her voice made him blink slowly instead of flinching. Maya knelt, letting him sniff her hand. His body was shaking so violently that her heart broke just watching him. "How long have you been waiting here?" she murmured, brushing mud off his fur. She didn't know why she asked. He couldn't answer, but his silence was louder than words. She returned the next night, and the next. Each time the dog allowed her a little closer, as if the weight of his memories was slowly lifting. She brought food, a blanket, gentle words, kind eyes, and still he never left the streetlight. But Maya noticed something. He always stared down the same direction of the road before he ate, before he rested, before he looked at her. The same direction the car had driven away. One night, she made a decision. "Come with me," she whispered, patting the passenger seat of her car. Shadow hesitated, glancing once more at the road. Hope, even false hope, can be a prison. He trembled, torn between the ghost of the past and the kindness of the present. Finally, slowly, he lifted one paw, then another, and climbed into her car. He didn't know it yet, but that moment changed everything. Maya took him to a vet, fed him warm meals, bathed him, spoke to him like he mattered. For the first time in months, he slept without fear, curled up at the foot of her bed, safe. But the story wasn't done, because fate had a cruel, strange way of testing wounds before healing them. 2 weeks later, as Maya walked him through a nearby park, a man passing by froze mid-step. His face went pale, his hand trembled, and Shadow, sensing a familiar scent, shrank behind Maya. It was the man who had abandoned him. "Shadow," he whispered. Maya felt the dog stiffen. The man stepped closer. I didn't think he'd survive. I thought it was kinder to..." She cut him off sharply. "Don't." Shadow stared at the man with a mixture of fear, longing, and betrayal. Emotions only a deeply loyal dog could feel all at once. For a moment, it seemed he might inch toward him, the way old instincts tug at old wounds. But then something extraordinary happened. Shadow pressed himself against Maya's leg. A choice. A silent, powerful choice. The man stepped back, tears in his eyes. But Shadow didn't move toward him. He didn't leave Maya. He had waited under a streetlight, hoping someone would return. And someone did, but not the one who left him. Someone better. Someone who showed him that love doesn't always come from the past. Sometimes it arrives as a stranger in the rain. From that day forward, Shadow never looked at the old road again. He walked beside Maya with a new kind of trust. Not blind, not desperate, but earned. And every night when he curled up beside her couch, he slept the sleep of a soul finally home.